That should probably be our next.
But you should do it. No, I want to do it. I just for some reason. No, I mean that. Like once you do, they need to follow you. Oh yeah, for sure. I'm giving you love.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay here and keep working for a while.
Justin, where are we gonna cut? How do I forget about YouTube? Okay. I forget about YouTube all the time, guys. I'm not a YouTuber like Jacqueline is. I'm not. I don't understand. She's an Instagrammer. Yeah, I would like call him Instagrammer. An Instagrammer. True. No, I don't understand videos. Don't understand it. I tried to make one where I spoke and then answered 3 questions, and it went horribly wrong. It's terrible. The only part that was humorous was actually smoking.
Yeah, we should have some
Hello.
patio access.
Ooh.
Well, unless you're my top 10
Justin, where are you going to sit?
I will not follow only because you need to have
What? Oh, okay. Just us. I saw the third mic, so I thought you were hopping on a mic. I was like, which mic do you want?
but top 10 then I always follow.
Hello, hello. Here, I will give you this one.
Journey J, the powers are her freckles are kind of
Okay.
they're like a spawn of hers. If she touches you, then the freckles of her body go onto your body, and she can pretend to be you. She can control you, that kind of thing. Oh yeah, I made it evil.
She's lost her mind.
I have not. I am Freckle Tabo, the villain. I will take over the world. 1 minute. Bad boy, and here's your fan. Thanks for fanning. Welcome to the Freckle Fan. All right, guys, I'm going to hop off. If you want to follow them, go on to my Instagram, our Instagram. They're all on there. Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, everything. Yeah, do it. TheOneRing.net. If you're not there, then I will be very disappointed in all of you. Yeah, so is God. See? Told you. Don't disappoint God. Lowercase God. Okay, bye. Ended.
I am ready.
Yes, I want to end.
Well, hello. Welcome back to another Torn Tuesday. And today I've got a very special guest with me. My friend Katie Ford will be filling in for Cliff because Cliff could not be here tonight. Katie is... Justin seems surprisingly happy about this, whereas I'm sad to lose Cliff for the night because we have so many things to talk about. But Katie's going to do her best to fill us in about all the nerd things.
Nerds.
If for those of you that have not seen me before, I'm Chelsea Schwartz, and welcome to the OneRing.net's Torn Tuesday. So yeah, we've decided that today's broadcast is being brought to you by New Zealand because right now flights to New Zealand are only $798 round trip
But do you
from
know
Los
why?
Angeles. I have no idea why.
Well, I told her about this earlier because it kind of baffled me as well. Apparently, it's been brought to my attention that New Zealand's not on a lot of maps, and they even have a hashtag going on called Put NZ on the Map. So thanks, IKEA, for ruining New Zealand and not having it on the map.
Poor New Zealand. So yeah, if you're in the Los Angeles area, you can fly round trip to New Zealand for $798 plus taxes and visit Hobbiton. It's Hobbiton. Like, do I need to say anything else besides that? Like, look at these hobbit holes and the feasts. Oh my God, look at this. Look how luscious green, and look at this feast that's over here.
Oh, I'm using the other mic.
Oh, Katie's switching mics.
It's so good.
We have too many mics. But yes.
So pretty.
Yeah, we have nothing in the chat so far. I don't know if we should, Justin, but if you guys are talking to us, we'll see you soon.
Don't be lurkers. Actually say something.
So besides visiting New Zealand, there's a lot of big updates that have happened this week. So as we all know, the Lord of the Rings Prime series, Amazon Prime, is being teased to us in an interesting format. We have an interactive map that's being updated basically weekly, and we're given names on these maps that if you've read like the Silmarillion, a lot of the names aren't in the Silmarillion, and the Silmarillion is supposed to be like the main source of history. And some of the names that have appeared this week are actually giving us even more clues to what timeline we could be in. We're seeing names on the map like, basically, everyone knows what Lothlorien is. Lothlorien is where Galadriel lives. If you've seen the Lord of the Rings movies, they visit Lothlorien in the Fellowship. So before it was called Lothlorien, that's the name we're seeing on the map. And that means it's before Galadriel has settled there and brought the Malorn trees, as she brings with her the nuts of the Malorn trees because they can only grow when the elves basically decide where they get to grow. These gorgeous giant trees that, as Bilbo puts into like a poem, he feels that when you touch the tree, you can feel its life. These giant, immersive, enormous trees. So it's before all of that, which means if Galadriel's not there yet, we're definitely in the First Age. Which also means that we're dealing with a time period possibly before the Rings of Power are even forged, which is crazy. We're going way back into history. So so the Rings of Power are forged because I'm going to screw up his name. I think it's Anawa. So Sauron is, everyone knows Sauron from Lord of the Rings. Sauron is what we call a Maiar. A Maiar is like a spirit of Middle-earth, and some of the spirits were able to take physical form like Sauron. And so at some point you see Sauron as a man, you see him as a wolf, as a beast, you see him as an eye in Lord of the Rings. So Sauron becomes Anawa, I think was his name, or Anawar, something like that.
Than I would.
And he befriends the elves and convinces the elves to forge these rings of power. And so he's deceived the elves because obviously he wants the power for himself. He wants to control. He's all about order and power. And so maybe this series is about the time period of that. Like maybe it's actually bringing to life when Sauron creates the concept and deceives the elves to make the rings of power, which means we need to cast an epic Sauron.
Yeah.
Like...
Oh, no.
The greatest shapeshifter of them all. Ooh, we have a chat coming now. It looks like Tiffany is joining us. Hi, Kaylin. Hi, Arlene. Ooh, so Justin says Benedict Cumberbatch for Sauron. So do we go from the voice of Schmog to Benedict being Sauron? I don't know. I don't know if I could see that. You Benedict Cumberbatch? Is that? Yeah. Okay. Tom Hiddleston? Maybe. I mean, he is a deceiver. Like he's like a shapeshifter. He's a little mischievous. So like, if he could pull off Loki, he could possibly be Sauron.
Oh, definitely. If he could pull off Loki, a little hard.
Yeah. That's interesting. Did you say Sauron was beautiful under the mask? Oh, there you go. I don't think I remember seeing Sauron under the mask, honestly. I have my own visions of what he looks like in that time period. So here's another exciting thing about that map that I was going through. And I think Justin will get excited about this, and you too, Katie. So when you get to the top of the map right now, there's the Northern Waste area, which is written on the map as like forward wath, something. I can't get words out today. I haven't slept in like 3 days, y'all. Just going to give you that warning. So the Northern Waste area is where dragons exist.
Yes.
And
all the dragons.
In The Hobbit, we had a dragon, and they talk about dragons with plural S have not been in these parts in years. Well, now we're talking about being in the First Age. We could have like Mother of Dragons style fun going on. Like we're talking some Game of Thrones stuff could come into
when
this.
Game of Thrones ends, we're gonna need more dragons. So
right?
let's put it in this movie.
I feel like Amazon was like, Game of Thrones is ending. People really liked the dragons.
Yeah.
Let's go here. So maybe. And then we need a new mother or father of dragons, but the Lord of the Rings version.
It would be interesting to see their take on it too. If they only had one, what would a bunch of them look like?
So somebody in the chat says that is agreeing that Tom Hiddleston would be great as Anatar.
Oh yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, so we can see the chat now. So if you guys are there, please say hello to us. We want to talk to you as well. I feel like this mic is cutting in and out. If you can't hear us, let us know that in the chat as well.
Yeah.
Anyway, so speaking of casting news and all of that stuff, so while I'm going to bounce back and forth between the map and casting stuff. So if you didn't know, Lord of the Rings has a Twitter account for the new Prime series. It's LOTR on Prime. So Lord of the Rings on Prime. Mm-hmm. That's the username. And right now, they're following 20 people. And it's really interesting because they're following the OneRing.net. Go us. Woo! And then they're following like a bunch of broadcasters, like a writer at The Nerdist, a writer at Vanity Fair. And you're like, okay, people covering the news about the new show?
Maybe.
Like people being
Perhaps.
given exclusive information, maybe? I don't know. And then they're following super fans. So like there's 2 football players in particular. When I say football, I mean soccer.
Football.
Football. So I'm a huge Liverpool fan, for those that don't know. Fernando Torres used to be on Liverpool before he got traded to Chelsea, ironically. Everyone loves that story. They're like, oh, so you're a Chelsea fan now, though, too, because of your name, right? No, I still love Liverpool. It's fine. He's also, for the World Cup, he's on the Spain team. Torres apparently has elvish tattoos. So they're following Torres, which, I mean, I wouldn't mind him being cast in something, but I don't know if he's got acting skills.
Well, cast the people that love it because they will not let it down and do their best to not kill it or
Right.
be terminated in a way in nerd world.
And then Megan Fox is another name that's popped up.
I still don't agree with it.
So it was interesting. OneRing.net, if you guys saw it earlier on Twitter, we had a tweet out. It was comparing Liv Tyler to Megan Fox. And I don't know if Megan could be a replacement for Arwen or be a mother figure or great grandmother or something, because we're going back in history, although elves live for a long time.
I mean, she's beautiful, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I just can't picture it.
And then Justin, JT was put out there. I don't think they're following JT, though. They're not following
yet.
JT yet.
Just watch it.
But JT is a giant Tolkien fan, and like we could have another singing elf, you know, like.
Yes.
Huh.
I would not be sad. I
Exactly.
would love that.
So like, it'll be, you know, maybe a relation to Lindir, which Lindir is Brett McKenzie, which Brett McKenzie is part of, I was going to say the Mighty Boosh, and that is not what I wanted to say. I'm really tired.
JT's playing
Flight of the
he's played a troll.
Conchords is what I was looking for.
He's already played a troll, so what's really a jump just to being a
But yeah, but
an elf?
him
It's
being a
better.
singing elf, it would be amazing.
Yeah.
I was like, and Lindir, for the people that don't know, is also AKA Fickwit, which was basically a fan term for this gorgeous elf that appears in the background on a certain screen. That was photo is great. Who is that? And it became Fickwit. And Brett's decided that character from Fellowship and the character he plays in Return of the King are 2 different elves. I don't know if I agree with that, but whatever he would like to say. I don't really see the Megan Fox looking like Liv Tyler thing, Justin, as so much as they have dark hair, in which case, hi, I'm Liv Tyler too.
Dye my hair, I can be it too.
Yeah. I mean, I see Katie being Emma Stone a lot more clearly than... All right. Moving the comments so we can see them closer.
So we can see.
And they're not scrolling on their own. Vin Diesel is allegedly a great Lord of the Rings fan. He auditioned for Aragorn before the original trilogy. Vin Diesel. I
Diesel's
feel
too
like
big
he's...
for that part.
Yeah, I was like,
too
he's too rough,
beefy.
too. Like,
Yeah, Aragorn's a little
that,
baby.
he just, I mean, Vin Diesel... I'm sorry for Vin Diesel fans out there, but to me, comes off
Fox
way
is better than Vin Diesel.
more of like an aloof egghead, like the fat bro, you know, fat boy kind of mentality. And then he's just too action star, whereas this is just, it's fantasy. I don't want to see Conan the Barbarian style muscles here.
It just doesn't match. No.
Let's see what else are people are
We have
saying.
agreements with unsure about Megan Fox. Burr, burr.
Oh yeah, somebody is talking about the dragons and saying in the First Age the evil armies used mini dragons and also balrogs, which would be amazing to see more of those. Which if you're not remembering that creature, it was sort of like the Chernabog from Fantasia.
Well, I mean, that would make sense to why there's not as many dragons left, because they died out because of wars and because of
Yes.
all kinds of stuff.
So yes, these battle scenes could be amazing. Somebody said Vin Diesel could be an orc. All right, I'm down for that.
Okay, yeah.
Absolutely. Let's see what else did I discover about these maps. Okay, so we also have 2, if you look at the map, all the way over to the right when you're looking at it, which would be the Eastern lands, you have Ruin, which if we're going back in history, the first elves woke there. That's where they were, and then after the elves came the dwarves, and after that were the men. So we could even be going to the beginning of Middle Earth, or maybe we get some sort of, I don't know, like a montage like you find at the beginning of Lord of the Rings that kind of brings you up to date. So maybe we see the creation of Middle Earth, and then it brings us to wherever we are in the story. It also talks a lot about I'm going to forget the names of the lands of where we're going. I do not have the map in front of me. Basically, we're also going to the original worlds where you would find the Druidane and the Dunedain. And this is... The Druidane are a wild race of men that are said to be, like, disformed. So we're talking, like, it could be anything from, like, hunchback to, like, more like an orc. Okay.
Well, I mean, I could definitely see Vin Diesel as that, so makes sense. Deformed. I mean, just kidding, Vin Diesel, you're fine.
Well, and seeing this wild race of men could be an interesting mix into everything else as well. And it was said that they were hunted often by men because they were confused as beasts. They were mistaken in the forest. And then the Dunedain are the Rangers of the North. When we meet Aragorn, he's a ranger. The Rangers, that's what they came from. I was like, so like literally we're just, everything that's being represented on this map right now is first age, intense history knowledge, and either we're going to get into some really cool beginning stories, or Amazon is completely throwing us off the grid.
They're just trying to make a fool
out
of you.
It has nothing to do with anything at all.
They're like, just kidding. We're going futuristic. We're just going to give you the pass as a joke. They're going to do an April Fool's too. I guarantee it. It's just going to happen.
Yeah. Which, you know, it's going to be like Lost, when everybody had like theories for days on ends for like 6 years. And then at the end, they're like, yeah, you didn't need to like pay attention to the numbers at all. They didn't mean anything. I'm still mad about that. 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42.
I haven't seen the last season because I'm just so like,
yeah. I bought all of the seasons of Lost as they came out.
You did not.
So I could constantly rewatch before the next season would start, and I refused to buy the final season. I was so upset about how it happened.
It meant nothing.
If Megan Fox appears in this new series, I will burn my books. All right, we'll have a book burning party hosted,
Stephanie will never burn her books, though. Never.
Oh my God.
See,
well, it
Princess
depends on.
Toy too.
It also depends on what version of the books you have. Stephanie says she's never burned her books. Do you have first editions? Because I wouldn't burn those either.
Oh, don't burn those. They're of value.
Billy Boyd actor. Is that actually the Billy Boyd in our chat right now? My mate was in Lost. Are we talking about Dom? Because, yeah, Charlie, all the way.
Oh, my God, Charlie, the way he died made me cry.
Oh, my God, it made everybody cry.
I hated it.
Which I have to say, I started watching Lost because Dom was cast in the show. Yes. And I was like, gotta support my hobbits.
Love him.
Yes, absolutely.
I miss him.
And Billy, if that is you, please come join us. One Ring down at Torn Tuesday, Scum and Villainy, one of these Tuesdays. We miss you. We love you. We bring Dom. It'll be a party.
Oh my God, yeah, bring so I can cry, please. Be great.
So while we're talking about this original story, and I believe everything is going to be filmed in New Zealand, as much as I would love for it to be filmed here, because I'd love to be like a background hobbit or something, or just anything. I'd like to be the grass that they walk on. Like, that's how much I would just like to be a part of this.
I'll be Emma Fox. I can't even do it right. Megan Fox. I'll be her character's part because I feel like I can actually do that. I could be an elf. I'm tall.
Oh, it is Billy. Charlie was rage best. Yes. Yes. So does that mean that... I'm not sure. Rhythm Joe, you might have to rephrase that because I'm not sure exactly what you are asking. And somebody said, wouldn't it be second age, not first? I was like, from the names we're getting on the map, we're actually getting some names that are changed by the second age. So it just really depends on what they're doing with this map. We have no idea. Like right now, this is all the information we're given is this interactive map, but the map could literally just be foreshadowing of like, this is where we came from, but we end up going somewhere else altogether.
My theory with the map that I started to mention last week was they don't have the rights to tell the stories of the second age, so they're using social media to catch everyone up on the history of Middle Earth. So when they launch and start writing and start shooting, we are already caught up and we know the history of the lands and we know how the movement of men and why they're so I think they're using social media and this obsession that we're doing right now about this map to keep everybody, to get everybody up to speed.
Yeah. They're using it well. They're using what social media does well, which is spread the word about many things, whether it's real or not. They did the right thing by doing a blank map and then slowly adding to it. See, when I got here, I didn't know there was more to the blank map. Now I know, and it's blowing my mind.
Yeah, if you only looked at the map the first day they put it out, it was blank, and every week we've been getting more pieces to it. I was like, so it's a great marketing tactic, actually.
It is.
I was like,
Absolutely.
just people are obsessively refreshing this map, looking for new answers and stuff every day. But yeah, so I like Justin's theory. If you guys didn't know, that voice of God that magically appeared
Voice
was
of God.
Justin, as occasionally it occurs here on the show. That was it. I really do feel like it's going to be something like that, and that we're going to end up getting our original thought of like a young Aragorn series, which I wouldn't mind seeing his like life as like a ranger. That would be fun.
It's the before. It's like, it's all the questions you wanted to ask about before, and now you're getting the answers to them. So it's like, yeah, I'll gladly see a movie from before the time. It's great.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I also wouldn't be opposed to the first age or second age and more dragons. So
Clearly she just wants to watch any movie that comes out with Lord of the
dragons.
Rings. And dragons, my bad. Dragons. Just dragons.
I'm specifically just excited that there could be dragons. But then there might not be. And then I'm just going to be like, Game of Thrones is over. Where are my dragons?
So when we Game of Thrones, it's the How to Train Your Dragon 3 is out.
That's true.
We just had Dragon Night last night. I mean...
Yes, I host the game nights here at Scum and Villainy on Monday night. Last night's theme was Dragon Night, so
yeah, it was.
We've had a lot of dragons lately. And do they need dragons in the show? Every show needs a dragon, Justin.
Yeah. Yeah, but Game of Thrones will be
but
over.
when Game of Thrones first started, every single person told me to watch it because it was like Lord of the Rings. So is it really being compared to Game of Thrones then? Yep. Justin, if you guys didn't hear off camera, was like, yeah, but then everyone's going to start comparing this to Game of Thrones. And I'm like, yeah, but in the beginning,
they were doing Game of Thrones to Lord of the Rings.
It all started with Tolkien.
It's all a circle. We can be a happy dragon family.
Awesome. It is 5:20. There's a lot going on behind me. I feel like shiny. You know, like easily distracted today.
Oh, yeah. I'm listening to them, and then I'm like, when listening here, forgetting words, it's fine. Dyslexia. Let it go.
Absolutely. So far, visit New Zealand, only $800, and then you can be an extra
That's
too
probably
in the
why
Amazon
it's so
series.
cheap. They're not on the map. That's
They're
why
not on the
they're
map.
getting a deal.
That is
Lord of the
ridiculous,
Rings,
though, that they
it's so
forgot to
cheap.
put New Zealand on the map. It makes me want to go through like every map and see what else is missing from my maps.
Well, right now it's the new map that you can buy in IKEA. It's missing New Zealand. They actually went over it on the John Oliver show. It was hilarious. Poor New Zealand.
No dragon. Non-winged dragons. Yes, non-winged dragons are also very epic.
Can you be a dragon
All dragons are
without
epic.
wings?
Yes.
Can you be an epic dragon without wings? Are you just like a giant lizard after that?
Don't degrade my dragons.
Poke.
I mean, you've seen How to Train Your Dragon. There's like 5 million types of dragons.
But no, can't most of them fly? Like a large majority? I can't think of any that don't fly.
But think of like chickens.
Babies. Chickens aren't dragons.
I know chickens aren't dragons. I mean more like chickens are more like birds that don't fly. Like there's
True. They're like the anomaly though, just like penguins. Like, are you really a bird?
Penguins are
or an
freaking
ostrich?
awesome. Let's
I
not
don't
insult
know.
penguins now.
No, they're
Clifford
cool.
Justin said that someone told Peter Jackson that he wanted to play Morgoth. Was it Vin Diesel? I don't know. Justin, do you know who? Somebody in the chat said Clifford Justin said that someone told Peter Jackson who they wanted to play Morgoth. Was it Vin Diesel? We don't know. We don't remember. No one remembers this conversation. Yes, Peter definitely wants to be sitting back and watching other people take this story far, far away. As a toque? Vin Diesel? No. You know, actually, I wouldn't mind seeing him as a dwarf, which...
That would be so funny.
Yeah. Which I actually made a note of this. I forgot about it when we were talking about, so in the Year of the Trees, which is when the dwarves first wake. And I was like, the beginning dwarf tribes, if you will, are Iron Fists, which made me really freaking excited because I was like, wait, I forgot that we had Iron Fists in the Tolkien realm as well. So now it's in Marvel and Tolkien. So Iron Fists, Stiffbeards, Blacklocks, and Stonefoots. I feel like Vin Diesel could be a Stonefoot. Or an Iron Fist, I guess, maybe.
Oh.
The British tree actor? An int? So now you think Vin Diesel should be an int? You want Vin Diesel to be every character of this movie, don't you?
Well, earlier they were talking about him being an orc, which I can see much better. But picturing him as like a dwarf or a goblin reminds me of like the actor who played Trick in Lost Girl. It's just too disproportionate for how big he is. It's just weird.
But they can do amazing things with prosthetics these days.
We'll see. Good luck. What is it? Not art department. Visual effects department.
Somebody's agreeing with you that dragons without wings and that don't fly are just giant lizards.
They're giant lizards. Thank you.
And then Stephanie chimed in and said, well, Chinese dragons don't fly and English dragons do.
Fair enough. I stand corrected.
Yes.
You killed my pawn.
I feel like we're not getting the Facebook chat anywhere.
That
seems
Facebook
to be dead.
Dropping like MySpace.
I apologize
I gotta laugh.
to everybody on Facebook. What?
Who?
Justin said something, I missed it. Vin Diesel won't be typecasted as trees. Amen. Obama?
Oh yeah. Follows Obama.
So Lord of the Rings on Prime also follows Barack Obama. Clearly they've made a political choice for president.
I mean, I wouldn't be against it.
But Barack Obama is the president of Middle Earth.
I mean, I have no opinion on that. Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to pull it up on my phone. I forgot to share the broadcast. I'm going to do that real quick.
And before we start talking about why Neil Gaiman would be followed, it's interesting that Lord of the Rings account would follow Barack Obama because I don't think that social media person managing the account really understands Tolkien fans because a lot of right-wing and libertarian views are big Tolkien fans, and one of the biggest supporters of President Trump has been Peter Thiel, who co-founded PayPal with Elon Musk, and he called his technology firm Mithrandir Capital, and his government services firm Palantir Technologies. Nice. And the founder of Oculus, Palmer Luckey, has called his new technology company Anduril Technologies. So all of these right-wing people are naming their giant companies after Lord of the Rings. So if Amazon wants to stay true to the fan base, you got to balance Barack Obama with some other people.
All of us are from the right wing. We're good. Like there's still hope here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. There's a balance in Tolkien fandom. It's not just
there's a
hippies.
balance in everything, though, too. I was like, even the journalists that they're following could be better balanced for what they're picking. And then we've got two really interesting authors, Stephen King and Neil Gaiman. Why are we following Stephen King?
I love Stephen King, but I don't know how this relates to Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
though.
I was like, he's great with the thriller, horror, psychological, all of that stuff. I was like, but I don't need that in my Lord of the Rings fantasy.
Are there going to be a lot of deaths? Because that would make a lot of sense.
I don't know. I really don't want to see Stephen King touch it. Neil Gaiman pushes that line for me, and I love Some American Gods and Lucifer. Yeah. Yeah, Gaiman's awesome.
That makes sense.
Different world from Tolkien.
Then who would you allow?
A name writer to be part of the series?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Put on the spot.
Who makes great worlds these days?
I don't even know, because even J.K. Rowling's going back into her being like, oh no, he was really this actually happened.
I do like J.K. Rowling's worlds, though. I was like,
but I feel like she's just riding that tail.
She's
like, no.
No, that's not who we're saying.
Oh, no, the ones that I can think of who've made great worlds, like, oh, I know. Yeah, I heard that story too.
Honestly, George R.R. Martin.
Oh.
You fall on that sword.
He'd never finish it, but
he would never finish it. True. Maybe he's stressed because he's got all this pressure because he wants to finish it. And TV's like, hurry up.
Middle Earth politics have changed this late in the fourth age. That's an amazing comment. I love that. All right, let's see who else they're following. So Stephen Colbert, obviously we all knew that was coming. Does he need a repeat cameo in this new series? I mean, you know they're probably going to put him in there somewhere. Who else?
Princess is like, Middle Earth has no
It's also just interesting, like they've got Terry Schwartz, the editor-in-chief of entertainment at IGN, which is a really game-based network. Like, yeah.
It's pretty multimedia now.
No, I know IGN's opened up in recent years, but I still feel like it's really looked at for like gaming.
So specific in the follows.
Yes.
Huh.
I like Joanna Robinson, though, because she, in her bio, is one of Cameron Crowe's Uncool. And if you've never figured it out, but Uncool Rockstar, my username everywhere is also a Cameron Crowe reference.
Where have I heard that before?
Quick note of history, Vanity Fair is very important to the success of Lord of the Rings. When they were trying to think of how do they get women to go see Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring, they thought that only boys would be interested in sword movies about hobbits and dwarves and elves. So their first press PR hit, their first photo shoot was Liv Tyler and Cate Blanchett for Vanity Fair. And they spent a lot of effort putting the two women in the movie out front in all the fashion mags to convince women to go see Lord of the Rings. Did they really need to do that?
I mean, I'm sure it helped, but I don't think they needed to. There's a lot of people my age who just love fantasy in general. And there's a lot of boyfriends who I'm sure will drag their girlfriends to the movies like we do for chick flicks and other things.
Okay, I finally got the Facebook chat working. So everyone that's been talking to us in there, I apologize.
Sorry,
finally have it
Facebook.
open. Kim, I love your comment. Please do not let this new show be full of sex, violence, and dark themes like Game of Thrones, because that's not Tolkien style. That's not at all what I meant about bringing George R. R. Martin into the world. I just feel like he creates great in-depth worlds and that he was very inspired by Tolkien and could do a good job, but I wouldn't want it to go the way of Game of Thrones either.
Well, I mean, I was talking about Stephen King. I mean, it'll get way scary and full of intense, just, I don't want that.
Yes. Caitlin, you were right. We couldn't see the Facebook chat, but we can see you guys now. Hi, Tiffany. Hi, Tori, Tony,
You're saying
Jason,
the most obscene
everybody.
things.
Yeah.
Just waiting for us to see it.
Yes. Somebody made a Led Zeppelin comment over on YouTube. I'm thinking with Led Zeppelin being followed, they were considering a rock score. I didn't see that they were following Led Zeppelin.
Are they? Wait, did you just check it?
I literally just checked it. Is that like
Don't
a new
lie.
follow? It would be amazing. Looking right now.
Oh, little fibber. Did you
No,
fib?
no Led Zeppelin follow. But it would make sense for a rock score, like the ones done for Flash Gordon, which was Queen, not Led Zeppelin, and parts of the first Highlander movie, which was also Queen, because Queen.
I can see Queen, well, because Queen is, I mean, it's always been, popular, but it's super popular because of the Bohemian Rhapsody movie. Now, even people who didn't even know about Queen, which how do you not know about Queen? My bad. Queen rant.
We're all Queen fans. I came to Lord of the Rings on my own just because the story was good. Didn't need any Vanity Fair cover to attract me. Yeah, a Vanity Fair did absolutely nothing for me coming to the Lord of the Rings films either. I was like, I actually don't really even remember that Vanity Fair cover that existed. Like,
I
but
don't look at magazines.
there's a lot of Tolkien fans that just go deep into this. Like, The Hobbit was required reading for me as a kid, and that...
Yeah, it was for me as well. Seventh grade, English class.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Josher. It was a great experience.
And that was a decade or so before the movie came out, not to
Same.
date myself.
I mean, 7th grade. That was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago.
long time ago. Like the new movie.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I got into Lord of the Rings long before the movies came out in theaters. Exactly.
Yeah.
I think most of us did. If you're part of the OneRing.net chat often, that means you've probably been part of this for a long time. And then, I like it, Laurel. Can we get unknown actors, fresh faces, please? I would love to have some fresh, brand new talent. Absolutely.
Hi,
And as
I'm
two
free.
working
Hi.
actors in LA, we completely approve that message.
Like, I love seeing people that we've already seen in a million other things, but there's so many undiscovered talents that would make a great addition to this fandom. So,
And Kim said the soundtrack should be symphonic. I was like, I like the soundtracks the way they've been, and what Howard Shore did a great job in Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. I wouldn't mind being having a rock score or some rock additions here and there. I think it would be really weird to just have like an Imagine Dragons song placed in the middle of the show.
Oh, no.
But like maybe have Imagine Dragons write a score.
It could
that
be like
could be
when you're
interesting.
flying dragons. It could be, no, I wouldn't say during like a battle scene, but like let's say there's a bunch of dragons flying. You could do like a nice rock song. It'd be nice and an uplifting moment in the movie. I wouldn't like saturate it too much with it though.
Everybody's also was given the Hobbit in grammar school and whatnot. Pete. Hi, Pete. A friend in school talked me into reading The Hobbit in 1969, and it changed my life, as it will do. Yes.
What a good year.
And everyone's, even Tiffany's agreeing that we especially feel that this should be no names. No, I would love it. There's actually, are there any up-and-coming actors you could think of that would play a great fantasy part?
Not that has already not been in a billion other movies. You know,
Fair enough.
they don't have. There's not enough fresh blood to even know where you could pick from. A lot of mostly just because I've worked with so many actors in the past couple months, and I'm like, oh, you're back, but you're in a show, but that's cool, but you're back. So people are being rediscovered, and the same people are being given the same kind of opportunities. We just got to find that fresh blood.
I
We're right
think
here.
as long as the casting actually comes from talent and not a diversity checklist,
Oh, I
I would
hate
be
that.
really happy. I was like, so I don't care if it's fresh faces or a combination of old and new, as long as it's the right people for the right part. I really want it to be just carefully casted. I love this. We've got somebody that just recently joined our fandom in 2013. They got into Lord of the Rings through the Lego video game, which that's amazing.
That's an interesting.
And then you watch the movies and read the books, and each bit that they did made them love Tolkien more and more. And that's amazing. I
good.
love that story.
Yeah.
Everyone keep telling us your stories like this. That just warms my heart.
About it.
Like Marvel using Led Zeppelin's immigrant song when Thor went ballistic. Yes, Pete, that was my favorite part of Thor Ragnarok. Like I remember immigrant song starting in Ragnarok, and I was in the theater, and I was rocking out in my seat and just big grin on my face. It was an epic moment. That was such a great placement for that song. So there is a time and place for rock.
Oh yeah, and Thor Ragnarok was it was super funny. Great movie, great funny.
Nice. All right. So what else has been going on lately? Besides, we've talked about the map a little bit. We got some
map.
excitement about dragons, or maybe it just being silly fan theories. That
We'll will it into existence.
yeah. And we've talked a little bit about who we'd like to see in there and music. Let's talk about some other things going on this week or even today. Like today, did you know, on this day in fictional history, Boromir died? How many of you guys knew that?
I did not know that.
It's a fun, sad fact because we lost Boromir, and Boromir was very special.
Oh,
But,
God.
you know, Sean dies in every role he's also given, unfortunately.
He willed it into existence.
What was the TV show recently that Sean booked a principal part in the marketing campaign was We Won't Kill Sean Bean?
I don't know. What is that?
It was amazing. I don't remember the name of the show. But that was the whole campaign at San Diego Comic-Con. It was great. I think Nicolas Cage needs a second chance in an Emmy film. Maybe he could play Aragorn's dad. Interesting. And if they're looking for actors, they should cast David Matty for any new Tolkien show or movie. Then I can make the honest claim that I know someone in it. Oh, nice.
I feel like my followers would just say the
love
same
it.
thing about me. I know her. It's great.
If they announced that they're filming Lord of the Rings in New Zealand this year, and Air New Zealand's having an $800 round trip sale right now,
Yes.
is anything preventing you from booking a flight and just being in the right country at the right time to be in the show?
Currently
Wanna go?
$800.
That's not that.
Would you
that's
sell
less
your
than my
car?
rent. That's
Well-
less than my rent.
Would you sell
That
your
is
car?
less than my rent. That's very true. Considering that I'm leasing my car, I could not sell it.
It's brand new and shiny. It matches her contacts.
I'm sure though, like if there was a way that I knew that by being there I would get placed in something,
Vacation time.
that I was like I would figure it out. There would be something, I'm sure, some collectible I own that I'd be like, I'll buy it back one day. It's fine.
Well, I mean, if you really wanted to go, you can go through a firm, which is a loan thing for just airlines at Cheapo Air, and you could definitely go, but you'd be paying it off for 3 to 6 months.
Yeah.
I knew.
How much would you commit to be in the show?
How much would I commit in terms of what?
Your life. How much of a life commitment? Give up everything.
Oh my God.
Move to New. Would you do the Guillermo del Toro thing and
everything
move
would
your
be put-
entire family there?
Well, my family is me,
It's just-
so I would just have to move
How
myself.
rude! I thought that was your friend.
Yeah, okay.
I'm
Well,
a friend
if
family.
I have to move all of my friends that are my family, and now we're talking like 100 people
a
are
lot of
coming with me to
people.
New Zealand, but I think we'd all love it there.
Oh, I'm down.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I'd put a good chunk of my life on hold to go and take a part in the Lord of the Rings series. I mean, that's definitely like a top of the list items of. I had a goal when I became a union actor, and this is actually something that can perfectly segue into some other things. I wanted to be in a film in any capacity that got nominated for an Oscar. And this year, I was in 2 films that got
I was in
nominated for an
one.
Oscar. Which film were you in?
I was in A Star Is Born.
So was I. I was in A Star Is Born, and I was also in Vice.
See, I was not
like,
in that one.
and both of them won an Oscar as well. So I just wanted to be in one that got nominated, and they both won at least an Oscar. And I was like, this is crazy. So I think I need a new goal. So maybe my new goal is being in this Lord of the Rings series.
My goal is way too unreachable.
Well,
Emma Stone,
let's hear
if
it.
you're out there, I just want to play your sister in anything. Everyone says we're the same. It's fine. It's my
I mean,
life.
you could easily be like a body double, a stand-in, all of the above.
I try.
I think is it Matt Damon or
I've met
Ben
him.
Affleck? It's one of them. Their stand-in has been with them for like the last 10 years.
It
and
might
is
be
on
Matt
salary.
Damon because I feel like I heard that on a different set, which I can't tell about because it's not out yet. Oh, here's another thing about today in history, kind of. So it's National Tell-a-Fairy Tale Day.
Oh, that's
So that
interesting.
makes sense. Yeah.
Kim, I actually really like this comment. I almost think it shouldn't be New Zealand because it's too close to Peter Jackson's universe and everything has got to be different. We either have to go all in and hire Weta and have the same aesthetic as the movies, or we have to make a clean break with a different location and a different design aesthetic. I think that's an incredibly powerful comment, and I completely agree, especially if we are going to go back to the first or second age, then the lands look different. Like the area where the rangers end up existing is burnt land by the time that they're rangers. I was like, it was lush forest in the beginning. So it's got to look different. You know, like the Maloran trees, if we're going back that far, haven't grown in Lothlorien yet. So we have to show that difference. Like you're completely right.
Yeah.
Wonderful comment. You guys are so witty. We love you. So speaking of the Oscars, that's also something else we can talk about from this week. I don't know how many of you paid attention or watched the Oscars. Feel free to chime in about this. But Academy Awards were this past Sunday. So we were just talking about Led Zeppelin and Queen anyway. Queen opened the Oscars.
And they did really well.
They did do great.
Yeah.
I have to say, I've never been a huge Adam Lambert fan, and I find it hard for anybody to be Freddie Mercury. And I know it's Queen with Adam Lambert. They're not even calling it Queen. It's always he gets equal billing, and
Yeah.
he's singing with Queen. But it's just, it always feels weird to me. But they were still great. And what I really loved about it was that Brian May came out on stage in black skinny jeans and sneakers to open the Oscars.
He's like, hey, I'm here.
And he was
more
just
do you
owning
want?
it. And that's the thing about Freddie Mercury is that he's always just authentic self all the time, unapologetic of who he is. And that's how all of them were, and they still are to this day. And he was just like, yeah, I'm opening the Oscars. And then, you know, once they finished their 2-song opening, they changed into their tux and sat down in their chairs. So it
Like,
was
if
like,
I'm going to perform in comfort.
yeah, exactly.
and then I'll get all fancy.
I loved that. And even Brian May's tux was all bedazzled at the top. It was amazing. Oh, I
You
loved
have to
it
be
so
a
much.
little extra at the Oscars. If not, you can't be best dressed.
He made a Instagram post that was like a style post of what he wore. It was the most adorable thing because Brian May, the astrophysicist, and all of his jewelry though was from the Great Frog London, which is my favorite jewelry company. And I was like, yeah, go Great Frog. There's a shop right here on Melrose. If you don't know the Great Frog, you should visit.
Melrose has a lot of really good shops.
Lots of great comments. We're trying to read them as fast as you guys are talking. And somebody, yes, pointed out that Freddie Mercury did make an appearance at the opening of that. I cried in that moment. Literally, Freddie was always a legend. He knew he was a legend, but he always wanted more. He wanted the next big step. And this is a next big step for Queen. I was like, this movie, Bohemian Rhapsody, has broken Queen to the top of the charts again and given them to an entire new generation and people that weren't even aware that this band existed. Their music is charting again, and Queen is becoming a household name in a way that it wasn't before. And so I've already been kind of emotional going, I wish Freddie was alive to experience this.
Well, it's the second coming of Queen.
Yeah.
Like, by the way, Queen existed, and millennials are like, who? And you're like, hello.
And then right at the end of the performance, they put Freddie on the back of the screen, and that was... They let him be there. That was amazing. Queen was great. Adam Lambert does a really good job with Freddie's vocals. Adam Lambert has a great range. I will absolutely say that. Also, and speaking of Bohemian Rhapsody, while we're on the subject, won 4 of their 5 nominated Oscars. Yeah.
So good.
And the only Oscar they did not take was for Best Picture, which who won that one?
The Green
Book.
Green
Book, starring Viggo Mortensen, our own Aragorn. So we bring it all right back to Tolkien, because, you know, that's how we do around here.
Still on the topic.
Which I honestly, I was really shocked that Green Book got Best Picture. It's a fantastic film. I've seen it. I know you haven't. But what it was nominated against, I mean, Black Panther and Bohemian Rhapsody, and there was
it was
Roma.
Honestly, any of them could have won. I've seen at least half of them, and I was like, I can't pick one of the 8 that were nominated. I was like, I can't. I was like, they're all so good.
When did we start having the Best Picture category have 8 to 12 films for like nominations? I was like, this is really hard.
They've been stepping it up. Like, there's just so many good movies out lately, and they're just getting better and better, because when you don't have a good movie, you get shat on, and it's not fun for anyone in production, producers and directors. You know, they want jobs too, so they got to do their best. Yes.
Somebody said it's kind of the third coming of Queen, really, which it's true. The second coming was Wayne's World. Yes, what you said in the comment.
My bad.
Which, to bring it even further back, then you had Mike Myers and Dana Carvey come out to introduce Bohemian Rhapsody as a nominee and revisit Wayne's World for that moment, which made me extremely happy. And I also loved in the pre-show that Mike Myers, they were asking him about his experience with the film, and they basically called Mike Myers and said, "We have a role for you in this movie about Queen," and he said yes.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Well, no, we were wondering if you'd like to be." Yes. Well, don't you want to read the script first? I mean, I'll read it, but I'm in.
But yes. I would feel like that. Like, absolutely. You said Queen and role. Who am I? The janitor? That's fine. Put me in it.
Absolutely. And so they also got, they won for Best Sound Editing, for Film Production. They won for Best Actor, which honestly, I was kind of upset that Gwillem or Ben or Joe were not nominated for supporting, because as much as Rami was incredible as Freddie, and I'm not denying that, Gwillem's Brian May and Ben's Roger Taylor were uncanny and eerily spot on, and I can't believe they didn't get extra recognition for that. So, not that you're watching the OneRing.net broadcast right now, guys, but I noticed. Also, I noticed somebody started talking about Gaga's performance.
Oh my God. Gaga's performance.
With Bradley Cooper.
At the end, when they put their faces together, I was like, one, I hope you have a Tic Tac. That was the first thing I thought. The second thing I thought was, oh my God, they're going to kiss. But they didn't, and I was so upset. Even though it's like a movie thing, even if they're not together, they should have done it for the moment, because it would have just blown up even more than it already did. And her dress, super cute. And her necklace reminded me of the How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days frosting.
Do you know where that necklace is actually from?
I don't.
The last person that wore that necklace was Audrey Hepburn.
What?
Yeah.
Fancy living.
Fancy.
I'm not on that level.
Little known facts of things that I randomly come across my path. Oh, Pete loved Myers and Carvey's bit as well. Yes, we all did. I am Scottish and grew up with Queen music. Interesting, the UK gets the Bo Rap home video release on Monday. It's still top 10 in the UK box office and on the cinema. It's still in our theaters here too, and doing well. We got the home video release like a week and a half ago.
And this girl's seen it at least 6 times.
I've seen it 100 and something times.
Oh yeah, like she's seen it in her house. She's seen it in theaters. She went to like the live. What was it? The live.
I went to a bunch of screenings with the cast as well, with like Q&As. They had a home video release party at the Whiskey A Go-Go and had Queen Extravaganza perform. And they had a Queen-filled menu as well. It was all like food named after Queen music, which was really cute. The Queen Extravaganza, for those that don't know, is the official tribute band that was put together by Brian and Roger. And this is actually the second generation of it as people have come and gone. But yes, I've seen the movie quite a few times. We also did the karaoke party bus for Bohemian Rhapsody.
You did not.
Yes, we did.
Oh, God.
They toured it around the country. It went to like 5 cities. You spend half an hour going up and down Sunset Strip singing Queen music with tambourines and guitars and light up microphones, and it was a lot of fun.
And of course it would come to Hollywood. If you don't come to Hollywood, are you really a movie? Let's be real.
I love that line too. Somebody said I loved Mike Myers and Bo Rap. It was the line that Freddie says to Ray Foster. I pity your wife if you think 6 minutes is forever.
It's not enough.
Yes, it's good stuff. So yes.
Not if it's only 6 minutes.
Touche. So Gaga, though, that performance, I have to say, you worked on A Star Is Born. I don't know which part you worked on. I was there for everything they filmed for the live concerts at the Greek Theater, which was like half the movie.
Yeah, I was only there. It was only like 3 separate bookings because the calls were like 200 to 300 people. They did people up in the stands. I was mostly in the stands, and then there was people in the pit, but they would cheat it a little bit and kind of move it from pit to pit as she was walking across the beautiful stage up top. Really cool.
So they booked people in the stands. The people in the pit, this is actually the story I was going to share, were actual Lady Gaga fans.
Oh, yeah.
So Lady Gaga tweeted on the day of filming every day a special opportunity for her fans. And they could come and see her perform for free. They didn't know what they were coming to. And so she had like 300 or 400 fans that would show up every day. And they would have to sit through 12 hours of filming.
Yep.
And at the end of it, to reward them, after 12 hours of filming, Gaga would roll her piano out and perform a 45-minute show for her fans. And it was amazing. Just her and her piano and like people freaking out with this little intimate show. It's just thank you for being here and helping us make this film.
And if you were paid to be there, like we were, you kind of had to leave before the concert started, which was fine. It was a long day.
I wasn't in the stands. I was a roadie. In the scene.
I was in the stands.
So we actually stayed through the whole performance that she did and everything too.
Oh,
so
man.
we were in the back.
Also, I saw Bradley Cooper though with a bun, and everyone kept calling him Daddy Coop, and I thought that was hilarious.
That was amazing. I ran into him a few times in Crafty and like didn't realize it was him, and like literally actually kept bumping into him and then being like, "Oh crap, it's you. Sorry."
I want to wash my shoulder.
Yes. But yeah, so Gaga's performance, I'm really happy that she is getting to show her raw side. She used to perform at Hotel Cafe here in LA before she was Lady Gaga. And it would just be her and a piano. And she was told a lot of the things that you hear in A Star Is Born of like, you need to fix your nose or whatever it is. And she didn't do any of those things. And she became Lady Gaga. And now she gets to do whatever she wants with her career and her artistry. And it's a beautiful message.
And it's fantastic. Her road was so difficult to get to where she is.
So I kind of feel like she won for the best song because of her story being interspersed with the story in the movie and how powerful that was. Well done. That was good.
Fantastic art, and it was portrayed beautifully, and I don't say Bradley Cooper did not do a bad job singing with her.
Yeah, not at all.
I do think the audio was slightly messed up at the Oscars because he sounds way better than that. But if you wait to the end when they're together on the piano, the audio is better, and you hear their harmonies, and it's just blissful. So great.
And then another thing I just want to give a shout out to, being two amazing nerdy women right here. Oh, there were so many women and in people of color
15,
that won.
15 awards, which is more than 2000, I believe, 7 and 8. And also, like, I think 7 and 8, 2007, 2008 was the last time there was even like 13 winnings, I think. But now is the record for 15. So yeah, go girls.
Woo, woo, woo. Women taking over. So more women in the Lord of the Rings Amazon series. That's the message that we're trying to get across. Yeah.
A lot more elves. Hi.
Oh, yeah.
And hobbits.
I would love to be an elf, but I'm way too short.
I only want to be an elf.
You're like, I don't care about the height restriction.
I will get like prosthetics and everything for like months if I can be an elf. Just little ears. My ears are actually, they look partially elf.
But what about second breakfast?
I still want to be an elf.
Oh yeah, first woman director for Pixar won for best animated short. Bao won as well. Tiffany just reminded us of that in the chat. There was a lot of great wins for the Oscars this year.
Speaking of animated, can we talk about Spider-Man?
Oh yeah, Spideyverse won.
That movie brought me to tears. Not only was the artistic styles, by the way, they did 3 different artistic styles labeled. layered words on top of each other to create the tiny comic book dots and the harsh lines, and it was beautiful. And the music, if you haven't heard Riot, you haven't partied. Like, it's such a good song. And Sunflower, which is also a great song, and is still #1 on the charts.
Yes. And I believe they're already working on another Spideyverse
Yeah,
film.
they are.
Yeah.
Yes.
Somebody commented, Kaylin, about how amazing Barbra Streisand looked. I thought it was very interesting that they brought her out to introduce Black Klansmen until she told the story about how she tweeted about the film and that drew the attention of Spike Lee, and I guess that's why they brought her in. But she did look amazing. And speaking of women looking amazing for their age, Bette Midler, good God. Mm-hmm. More Bette Midler everywhere, please. Phenomenal, can still sing, amazing. Somebody is now chiming into the chat. No on Megan Fox for Middle Earth because there's no plastic surgery in Middle Earth, Justin.
Yeah. She looks too perfect.
Who, Megan?
Yes, she's...
Tyler looks perfect.
Liv Tyler is perfect, yes.
But still, she wouldn't fit... I don't think she'd fit in that world, though. There's so many other people.
What?
I can't think of names. Words are hard. So Sansa?
You know what would actually be really
Sophie
interesting?
Turner?
So somebody else just in the chat said, I'm a Hobbit, can I be in it? And there's so many of us that would want to be. It would be really fun if Amazon put together like some sort of like OneRing.net community like lottery that like 50 of us got to be extras in some sort of crowd scene one day in this new series. That would be a great marketing ploy. Amazon. Hint. Hint. Wink.
Hashtag do it.
Nudge, nudge.
Well, nudging me. I'm not in charge of Amazon. If I was in charge of Amazon, I would have free Prime for forever.
Somebody, I'm very jealous of your brother. I guess Pete's brother did some work for Bette Midler in New York and said that she was extremely nice. She seems like she would be.
I hope so.
I wished there was so many special events for Hocus Pocus's 25th anniversary last year that Tiffany, who is in our Facebook chat, and I attended. And we were hoping Bette would show up at one of them, but she never did. It would have been amazing.
Me.
I could play a grumpy hobbit. A Proudfoot, maybe? Yes. What else? Best dressed, worst dressed of the Oscars? Thoughts?
First of all, Emma Stone, her hair is dyed darker because of Zombieland 2 that's coming out, which is going to be even funnier than the first one. If it's not, I'm going to be super sad, and I'm sorry that I just said that. But her red dress was, I forgot who it was by, but it was dark red to match her hair because of dyeing it for Zombieland. So good. So pretty. Super sparkly. Bedazzled.
For guys, there was two things that stood out to me. I don't remember the guy's name now. I didn't really know who he was, but the one that wore like the half tux, half dress. Did you see that photo?
Yeah.
He looked phenomenal, whoever he was.
Fancy.
And then Jason Momoa in his periwinkle tuxedo.
Periwinkle is one of my favorite colors.
That was such a bold move, and I loved it. And then I loved him coming out with Helen Mirren, and Helen being like, we didn't coordinate to wear the same color. And like, it was amazing.
Lie. Come on.
That was great. And then, speaking of Emma Stone, friendship goals much when Olivia won? Did you notice?
Oh my God, she cried and like jumped up and loved her, and I was like, that could be us.
But then even as like Olivia walked on stage, they like put the camera on Emma, and she was just
like crying and tearing. Well, I mean, they spent so much time together on The Favorite, and if you haven't seen it, see it. It's it's funnier than I anticipated it being, because Emma Stone's just super funny. But I'm so glad that Olivia, she won. She won.
Yeah,
sorry,
that was amazing.
Sorry, Glenn Close, but she won.
So The Favorite was hysterical. It was a great comedic piece. I did not feel it needed to be nominated for as many things as it was nominated for. But with the nominations that it received, the only one that I felt was just was Olivia's. And her winning was awesome. I was shocked she got it. I was like, but her acceptance speech, I was like, I would have given you the award just for the humility of that speech. Like, it was amazing.
Well, I mean, everyone
especially
thought
her,
Glenn Close
this
would
is
win.
never going to happen again.
She's like, one and done. I did it, guys. See, Mom, I did it. But like everyone thought Glenn Close would win. She's the new Leonardo DiCaprio of the Oscars. Like, when she wins, it'll be like, yes, I have finally done it. And you saw her face. She was like, better luck next time, guys. Don't worry, I've got 4 movies in the making.
Pete, thanks for the callback. I said proud foot, and he said proud feet, just like the film. Because we're nerds around here. That's how it goes.
It's true.
So, out of all the categories, was there anything that you felt should have gone differently? Would you have given an award to someone else for something else? And this question goes for all of you out there as well.
Not necessarily. I actually agreed with a lot of the awards, especially with Spideyverse. I was rooting for that one all the way. I think just because I haven't seen Green Book yet, I'm not like, oh, that one shouldn't have won, because I can't necessarily judge it properly. But there was too many good movies in that category, so I'm just going to have to watch them all, and then I can agree with it. What about you?
I don't really know. I felt like almost every single thing went the way that I thought it was going to go. I felt like everything really deserved it. Working on Vice, the hair and makeup team getting it for that one, absolutely. They did my hair and makeup on that one. Well, that alone, I was just like, please take all the awards.
Did you know they actually weren't going to show that award live, but they decided to, and I'm glad they did. Like, costumes and hair is a lot of work. Most of the day that we spend on set is getting our hair done or putting our makeup on. It's absolutely terrible. It's like hours.
Tiffany, what you can pass? We have a special guest. That
we
has
have a special
question.
guest, the mini muffin.
I just want to comment the irony that Bohemian Rhapsody won a sound editing award for putting Queen music in a movie about Queen.
They won a sound editing award because they took 10,000 samples of people at home singing Bohemian Rhapsody and mixed it into the crowd scene of Live Aid in such a way that it doesn't sound like it was people at home in their cameras. On top of that, they took Rami's vocals and mixed it in with Freddie's vocals in the entire movie. I was like...
She's got nothing against Romney, though.
Literally, it wasn't just about slapping Queen music in there. The subtleties that went into every single scene of that film were incredible. And if you...
She's squinting so hardcore.
As somebody that actually spent one-on-one time with all of the sound mixers in the film to know what they did, like, they completely deserved that.
It's an amazing movie.
It was a great movie.
You get 10,000 people singing Bohemian Rhapsody into their cell phone and then mix it into a crowd scene for a movie.
That is a lot of work.
And tell me.
That scene shot for shot is amazing.
Yeah. Tiffany is upset about the visual effects, which she has a solid point that category always goes to a space movie. And just, there was so many other things like Infinity War and other things that were happening. I think Justin's got a comment.
That's true.
Just to clarify, Rami Malek didn't sing.
Rami actually did sing.
He did not. He was dubbed by a guy they found on YouTube, and this guy did all the singing. And Rami pantomimed to this guy singing that they found on YouTube.
He pantomimed to that. He also pantomimed to Freddie as well. He did actually spend almost a full year in vocal coach training and said that no matter how many singing lessons he gets, he will never be as good as they needed him to be.
Truth.
And then the only scene in the movie that is filmed entirely live is the Another One Bites the Dust studio scene. And every single member, all four of them of the band, including Rami with his vocals, are live.
Don't test her. She's seen this movie 100 times over.
She was in it.
She was in it.
I wasn't in this film, but I know a lot about it. This was an amazing story, actually. Joe, who played John Deacon, said every single one of them had to learn every single song they had to play, but they never felt the pressure because nobody actually had to play live. They were unplugged. And as long as they weren't doing close-up shots of their hands, they could get away with it if they were rusty on a certain song. And so they had a good rapport with the cameraman to be like, I don't really have this solo down well, don't shoot this one. But
fair enough.
The only person that couldn't fake it was Ben, because drums are hard to fake, so he actually had to play the drums. So when they got to the Another One Bites the Dust scene, which was the very last scene they filmed of the movie.
It's probably the harder one.
The director was like, so Joe, you're going to be plugged in. Like, go ahead and turn the sound on. And he was like, okay.
What?
And he was like, you know the song, right? I learned it. And he was like, great, you're on, go. And so that's actually Joe doing the bass lick in the beginning. And after the first take, Gwillem was like, well, if he's live, I want to be live. and so they were like, all right, Gwillem, turn on your guitar. Let's see what you can do. And so then all of them were like, well, if they're live, I want. So
might as well.
So they finally filmed the very last scene. All of them got to plug in, and it was the first time that they all got to play as an actual band. And then they rapped to the movie.
What a great rap thing. We're having a party. We're playing ourselves. I've actually been booked as a drummer without realizing that they want you to actually play the drums. They never asked me if I could or not, and I got there and I'm like, that's it. That's all I could do. I was like, no, they didn't even have me do the feet, which is the part I was scared about. That's hard.
Oh my God. Tiffany was like, Chelsea only went to 1 billion screenings with the cast and crew for Bohemian Rhapsody.
1 billion and 2
don't
screenings.
Test her. Yes, this movie holds a lot of personal spots for me. If you were part of our OneRing.net broadcast last month, me and Cliff talked about it a little bit. I've gotten to work with Brian May and Roger Taylor before. I've done photography for Queen, so I was excited about this going into the movie. And then the personal story of Freddie and a lot of what he went through resonates really well with me. And probably the first 50 times I saw this film, I cried. It just really hits home. And it's a great movie. As much as there's things about it that are fictional, there's chronological issues, there's exaggerations and things and invented characters. Doesn't matter. It was a great cinematic film. And at the end of the day, Brian and Roger were involved in every step of this film, and so was Peter Freehouse, which was Freddie's assistant. And if they're all okay with it, I'm okay with it.
It's just glad that there wasn't a book written first, because then we'd have something else to say.
Yes.
Books are always better than the movies.
All right. Back on the subject. Chelsea, did the guys playing the band also watch videos of Queen playing the songs to get the left-hand positions correct on the neck? Because there are different ways to play with most chords. Yes, they watched tons of videos, and on top of that, Brian and Roger were on set with them most days, giving them pointers. Mm. All right, we've had a few people being like, all right, this is enough with the Lord, enough of the non-Lord of the Rings and peacing out.
It's
so
like a commercial.
We can go back.
We'll make popcorn and come back, and we'll be talking about Lord of the Rings.
We got in a tangent. It was about the Oscars. We were excited.
Yeah.
It was also great to see Viggo on the Oscars carpet as well. He always looks amazing. I was really kind of hoping, and I don't know if Justin has this photo he can pull up somewhere quickly. Do you know the photo I'm thinking of?
Quickly, Justin, quickly.
We'll see. I was hoping we'd get a recreation of the last time Viggo was in town for the Oscars. He called his fellow friends from back in the day, fellowship friends, and they all had a pint together, and there was this amazing photo that came from it. I was hoping we would get a part 2 of that.
Aw.
Justin.
They're all in town this week.
They all are in town. Everybody's in town right now, so I was hoping we'd get that recreation. I don't know if... Justin, do you have the photo? Oh, yeah, you guys will see it in a second if you don't know what I'm referring to. That's exciting. But yeah, so with everybody being in town, I was hoping that we'd get some sort of recreation, a little video shout out. I don't know, something. We'll see. Everybody's still in town. It could happen.
There's still time.
There is still time. There's always time. Well, they don't have to go to that bar. They can go to a different bar. Justin's like, the bar that they went to is closed. I'm like, there's a million bars. Yeah, they could surprise us right now at Scum and Villainy and just walk in the door.
Basically make half the bar faint if they show up here. Chelsea would never leave. She would be here the whole time.
That was his local bar. That was his favorite spot. Nobody bothers him.
Well, I mean, I feel like not a lot of nerds would bother them here. We're all too scared to do anything.
Pete, I can't click on your link right now, but I'm sure it's probably the photo I'm thinking of.
Send it on Twitter. Or to tell us what it is.
Kaylin said it's Justin in another time zone. It feels that way. He's really far that way.
He's really far away.
Behind a wall, and I can't even see him. We don't even know what he's doing. He just sometimes appears.
There's also a bright light, so it's super shadowed. So when he walks out, it's like, ah.
Yeah, when I look that way, it's just completely blinded. I have no idea what's happening. Somebody said, love that photo. I'm guessing it finally went up. Yay, yes, that photo. It's a great photo. So I was hoping we'd get a new version of that one.
Where would be the Hobbiton bar in L.A.?
Isn't there a new spot for Cat and Fiddle now? I think they just moved somewhere on like La Brea or something. Cat and Fiddle could be a good spot
There's
for
a
it.
Hobbit bar here? I mean, why wouldn't there be? There's
Like
there's
any
a Star
sort of
Wars
like
bar.
Englishy pub is
Fair enough.
like
Okay, that makes
a
that's
Hobbit
way.
bar.
I was about to say because Scum and Villainy.
I
the only
mean,
bar. Well, I mean,
Scum and Villainy
is like
Cantina
a
is the
geek-
only bar that exists in the world.
Well, I mean, it's the fandom bar of Hollywood. Like there's a Duran's door in the back that lights up with black light to go to the bathroom. Like,
There is that.
don't believe me?
Have
Come
you
see.
have you guys shown that on the stream at all?
No. Have you?
The door that lights up in the back of this bar.
I helped paint it.
We've put the door to Mordor, not Mordor.
There's also
Moria.
a Doctor Who door, and then soon to be hopefully a platform 9 3/4.
But we've put the door to the entrance to Moria.
And there's
on
a
the back
golem
wall
here.
of Scum and Villainy, and it's motion light activated. So when you walk near it, it
goes
lights
ping.
up. So
And there's a
you
golem
can
who's
literally speak friend and enter.
Yeah.
And it's quite amazing. And then besides that, as Katie keeps excitingly pointing out, we do have a golem above the fridge.
He protects
here
the
as well.
beer.
At some point, we'll get Justin to like pan the camera and you can see these things.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, you can't see the door from here. It's definitely blocked by the hallway because it's all the way through the hallway. But there is a red lit up golem as well as like a Dobby, but that's not Lord of the Rings.
So we kind of jumped into this really quickly at the beginning, just having Katie here to have somebody riff off of me. But Katie, you are a nerd.
I am more of a geek than a nerd, but hey, who's counting?
You obviously like the Lord of the Rings knowledge doesn't run in your blood like it does with some of us. I was like, but
I've got other knowledge.
you read the Hobbit in grammar school. You've seen the movies.
I've seen all the movies. I watched them
Tell
all in
us.
7th grade all the way through.
What is your favorite part of either the Hobbit or Lord of the Rings?
Honestly, it's just a comedic part. I can't remember what movie it's from because I watched them all at the same time and they all blurred. I did the same thing with Star Wars. I should have learned my lesson. But there was a part where Legolas, and I can't remember the dwarf's name, but they were counting their dead as they were fighting. They're like 1, 2, and then the guy's like 7. He's like, that's not fair. And it was really funny.
So the Return of the King battle. That's
There we
amazing
go.
with Legolas and Gimli.
Gimli,
And-
that's the name.
yeah. That is really fun.
It was so funny.
Yes.
Plus
The
he's
two of
super
them are
dreamy.
amazing. Don't go through the Shelob's lair door. Oh my God, if we had a Shelob door with like spider web things you had to crawl through, I couldn't do it, first of all.
What should they consider for this series then? What actors should be in the mix?
What actors should be in the series? I mean, we talked about that earlier. We gave a bunch of
little bit,
thoughts,
yeah.
and everybody basically in the chat agreed that it should be new faces, and we don't know the new faces. So
Because they're new.
yeah.
No, no expected
Oh.
disappointments.
Hold on, we're getting a call from Cliff.
From Cliff. Bwah, bwah, bwah.
Let's see if I can get this to work, Cliff. Are you there?
Yes. Hello. How
Can
are
you hear him?
I think you are live, and I have the mic up to the phone, so I think people can hear you.
Excellent. I'm so glad to be on the show with everybody. Hi. How's it going, guys?
Everyone seems to be having a good time. We've been chatting about the map a bit. We've all kind of decided that we want fresh faces in the series when it comes out. And we talked about the Oscars for a little bit. We also talked about, I don't know if you know this, there's currently a round trip airfare deal to New Zealand for $798.
That is the best $800 round trip because it includes an actual in-country flight to go from the one island to the other island, which is unheard of when it's usually more than $1,400 for a round trip to New Zealand and back.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of reasons why it's that cheap, but
I mean, it's basically like 50% off. So if you're in LA, it's a great deal. If you're not in LA, get to LA. For the great deal.
use the other 100 and come over
I mean,
here.
unless you're already in New Zealand, then just stay in New Zealand.
That's always tempting. I'm glad you're having a fantastic show. I only have a very short minute, but there was one thing that I wanted to throw into the conversation today.
Go for it.
Do it.
Laura Lynn Doranan. How about that name?
Laura Lindor, we were talking about that, about how Galadriel
Yes.
is not there yet for it to be called Lothlorien.
That's right. So actually, that also means that the rings of power have not been made, possibly, not been distributed to the people who would carry them. And this is a weird and strong indicator that this map is trying to tell us about the world of Middle-earth right before the forging of the rings of power.
Yep. Which we were talking about this. It could be in that timeline where the Rangers are no longer Rangers, and we have the Dunedain. We've got maybe even dragons in the Northern Waste.
Yes.
Yes.
Dragons.
Yes, that's right. There are dragons. There be dragons there.
Yes.
But it is a bit more mind-blowing, and I'm going to lead the conversation with you guys talking about this. It seems to be a strong possibility now, and it wasn't clear before, that maybe Amazon Studios has access to unfinished tales. Maybe they have more of a license for this than we thought that they did, because they're using names and situations that come from the unfinished tales.
Yep.
So this is a bit of an interesting eyebrow raiser. So you guys talk about that. Have a fantastic show, and many blessings to everybody. I've got to run, okay?
All right, thanks for calling in, Cliff.
Okay, have a great show. Bye.
Bye. All right, everybody, that was Cliff.
He's like, I need you to know
he
something.
took a quick break from work to fill us in about his little finding about the Malloran trees that we were talking about before, because Malloran trees were brought all over Middle-earth by the elves, but because the elves carried these nuts that allowed them to grow, and they don't exist until Lothlorien is really, when Galadriel settles there with her husband and then brings them with her. Otherwise, they're all in the west, closer to the Misty Mountains.
Yeah, the whole landscape, everything's going to be different.
I like
things that existed before.
I like Jennifer's comment that you have to say it really slow, because ints take a very long time to say anything.
What's happening?
Yes. Oh, and Pipsky, I'm really sorry that Cliff, that I missed your comment to tell Cliff, but I will text him after the show and say that you said hello. And everybody, we all love Cliff. You will be back next week. Don't worry.
Sorry, I'm not that cool.
Oh, Justin says actually no, he's canceling Cliff.
You're canceling.
It's just going to be
Sorry, Cliff,
girls
you've
from
been
now on. Poor Cliff. He misses one day and he gets replaced.
So it's 2 more women that won this week.
Yes.
You and me.
So Cliff's discovery is along the same lines of me, of this map really does seem like we are going to be in the first age, that this is before the Rings of Power are even forged, and we might get to watch them be forged.
I must say we might see them be forged.
Yeah, I mean, that could be a big possibility of where the series goes. I was like, if they have access to these older stories, the untold tales, this is amazing.
Absolutely.
And there's so much meat that we could get into and really sink our teeth into. I was like, but again, like Justin said earlier and we talked about, it could just be the best marketing tactic ever to make all of us create crazy theories and start making charts and graphs of what could possibly be going on. And then they're like, just kidding, Frodo's back.
Frodo's back. We will create 6 new Gandalfs of all the colors of the rainbow. It'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly. Could you imagine if it actually picked up when Bilbo takes off with the elves at the end after the...
that would be a great complete circle, though. That would be great.
All of our thoughts completely out the window, and it's just a brand new story altogether of life in the Shire. No. Who knows? We really have no idea what's going on. Yeah, so right before Cliff called, we were talking about casting possibilities. A lot of us were saying that we wanted new faces because, especially if this is a different age, we want the landscape to look different. So they should be filming in different parts, and I'm ready to see what new talent can bring to the stage.
Yeah, and you were saying earlier to mix it. I agree with the mix. Maybe not completely all new, because then people are not going to be as justified to watch the movie. I mean, yeah, of course. Oh, I'm gonna watch it because it's Lord of the Rings. That's like Star Wars. Oh, I'm gonna watch Solo because it's a Star Wars movie. But if you add a mixture of faces that we've already seen, or just well known throughout, even Nerdverse or geekdom or whatever, then it might help just views in general.
Yeah. I do think that they're taking their time, clearly, because we've had the announcement about this show for quite some time now, and I think whatever they end up doing, it's hopefully, fingers crossed, it's going to be done well. I think it's going to be. I think we're really going to get something special with this new series, and I think we might finally be starting to find some more original series coming back to Hollywood in general. Like, even Justin and I were talking briefly about that new Loki series before we went on air, which if you guys were with me a few months ago when they announced it, and I freaked out on air for all of you guys, that they're talking about it kind of being a new twist on Quantum Leap, which could be a lot of fun. So yes, I am a huge Middle-earth fan, and I bet you ladies are as well, but are you worried about how the show might turn out? And if they take things out of context from the book? Also, do you think Amazon would do a good job? I think Amazon's got a lot of money. I think Amazon is frustrated that Netflix and Hulu Hulu hasn't had as many as Netflix, but they've gotten a lot of attention for their original shows. And I think Amazon wants to make the money. So I think they're going to make the right show, especially now that they're starting to get some attention because of Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Well, that and Jack Ryan was excellent.
Yeah.
John Krasinski, call me.
And Jack Ryan, literally, they did a massive activation at Comic-Con where they literally dropped money and in like an escape room, actual money that people could collect. Like,
I remember
Amazon's got
that
money to
good.
burn.
The thing I was surprised about Lord of the Rings on Amazon official account following Obama is that Obama has a production deal with Netflix. Like, he is a Netflix production company. So why is Amazon trying to they're playing in the wrong leagues?
I just think Amazon's really just messing with all of us.
Yeah. But this is not a brand to mess with. You do not mess with Middle Earth like this. They're playing too loose.
They're just trying to throw us off the scent. That's all. They're like, they're going to get all hot and bothered that we're putting Megan Fox and Fernando Torres and Barack Obama in the series.
Vin Diesel.
Yeah. and it will be none of that whatsoever. I like this. Andrew just had a comment that he doesn't think that they would double up on the crafting of the rings after covering it in the video games, which is interesting. I mean, really, there's always a new way to tell a tale. I don't think the entire world has played the video games. I think
I have not.
TV series would hit a broader audience, so maybe they would double up on it.
For those of us who do not have thumb-eye coordination for most video games. It's nice to watch things on television and also inspire to be in those shows. So
I could do video games back in the day when they were like simple and the camera was static, but now that like one of the controllers literally adjusts the view of the camera as you're like running.
First-person shooters, man, too difficult.
I can't. I get dizzy and nauseous and I have no idea what's going on and I just give up. I'm like, I'm okay.
Like, I'll do, like, Left 4 Dead, SSX Tricky, Wave Rider, those kind of, like, fun games, but I can't do the shooting games. It's too...
Oh, this is something else I wanted to talk about. Thank you for bringing that up, guys. The upcoming Tolkien flick. So the biopic for Tolkien comes out in May. So we've got 2.5 months to go.
That's nothing. We waited almost 2 years for the last season of Game of Thrones. 2 months is nothing.
Totally. It's almost here, guys. We're going to blink and we're going to be seeing it. It's being brought by Fox, which is the company behind the Queen biopic for Bohemian Rhapsody.
Fox is buying a lot of things.
I think Fox is actually starting to make some good films.
They're also buying a lot of shows that are already a bunch of seasons in. They're like, no, we see the gold in this show. We're going to buy it because they're
I don't know how much they're going to keep doing that with their acquisition from Disney. I was like, but we'll see. It's a really interesting time in Hollywood in general. But I'm really excited about the biopic coming. I haven't seen it like a lot of the rest of our OneRing.net staff because when we had our special viewing a month and a half ago, I was without a car because I was just in a car wreck. So I'm still in that innocent. I can't wait to see it. I'm excited for it. Yeah. What about you guys? Everybody else excited to watch it?
I was like, I concur.
I'm really scared. I'm really scared about Amazon doing Lord of the Rings after seeing Earthsea. It left a lot to be desired. Yeah, I think Amazon at the beginning of their originals, they really didn't know what they were doing, and I think they're figuring it out quickly.
It's a learning curve, and I feel like maybe they're ready to just bite off the tail of Lord of the Rings and be like, no. Let's just do it. And they're like, all right, let's do it.
I mean, this was the first year that I saw multiple of their series actually getting nominations and then some of them winning awards. Besides Maisel, Jack Ryan got nominated.
Yeah, Jack Ryan got nominated.
Very English Scandal got nominated.
That did as well.
Hannibal. King Arthur, was that what he did?
The movie?
The Anthony Hopkins was nominated for something for an Amazon. King Lear, was it?
It was King something.
Yeah. Anyway, so I think Amazon, the point is I think Amazon's getting it together. I think they know they have a delicate franchise and that we will burn them at the stakes if they get this wrong.
If we burn, you burn with us. Hunger Games.
Do they go after the Emmys or do they go after the fans first?
Justin says, do they go after the Emmys or do they go after fans first? I think they have to go after the fans because without the fans, you're not going to get the Emmy.
And with the fans, there's other award shows, not necessarily Emmys, but there's SAG, and we are voting for those things. So it's like if you don't get our hearts, then you don't win other awards.
I mean, there's so many awards. There's People's Choice Awards. There's the Critics' Choice. There's like everybody has some place that they can vote now. I was like, but the power is in social media and in conversations.
And they're doing exactly that.
Because there is so much content out in the world right now, it is hard to decide when you go home what you want to watch. Half the nights, I give up and just go, I'm just going to watch the Dick Van Dyke Show again.
Yep, The
Like,
Office.
there's too much. I don't want to, like, get involved into something. I just want to tune out.
I'm sleepy. I'm going to fall asleep. I'll just rewatch The Office.
The only things I find myself watching are when 20 to 50 people in a day around me have been like, oh my God, did you watch Umbrella Academy last
I'm
night?
watching that right now. Don't tell me I'm on the last
haven't
episode.
watched it at all yet.
So far, wow, good job, guys. Although I have guessed almost everything that's happened. It's a little predictable, but it's throwing a few curveballs, so I definitely recommend the Umbrella Academy.
Nancy agrees that Maisel is fantastic, but you're right, it's a completely different genre. I was like, but I don't think Amazon has too much say when it comes down to the nitty-gritty of the filming and the writing. Amy Sherman Palladino, that is behind Mrs. Maisel, has done a lot of amazing shows like Gilmore Girls.
She's so funny.
Like, she's just a fantastic producer and writer. I think Amazon is going to find the right team for this.
Yeah.
I have a lot of strong gut hope and feeling behind that. Yeah, faith. I have blind faith in Amazon. But yeah, no, so like I was saying about the conversation, the power of conversation in social media right now is because there's so much content, they have to do something that gets people talking. I was like, so they have to cater to the fans first because the fans are going to start talking. And those fans can be critics. Those fans can be just people like us. They can be press. I was like, but there's still people with word on the street. I was like, and when those people start talking, it gets more people watching. The more people that watch, the more people that talk. And that's going to power and influence the nominations and the awards.
Absolutely. Or even how many people actually watch it in general. If you don't hear about it, do you watch it?
I love that we casually mentioned Umbrella Academy and the entire chat room is, oh my God, Umbrella Academy.
It's so good. Don't tell me how it ends.
I
know you
almost
won't,
started
but
it last night, but I hadn't slept in 2 days at that point, and I thought I won't sleep tonight if I start it.
The first episode and even the second one is slightly slow. So you don't want to be tired when you're watching the first few ones, but it gets really kicking after that.
Good to know.
Yeah.
On that note, we just got the wrap-up signal from Justin.
The light's flickering.
Yes, right. Our imaginary light in my head
the hook
that we
is
can
coming.
both see. What? The dong.
I'm crazy too.
The
It's
gong
fine.
as well, you know. Anyway, I'm tired.
Same.
Anyway, it's been so lovely chatting with all of you guys today here on theonering.net. Make sure you're following theonering.net on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and all of the wonderful places that you can like, follow, subscribe, heart, comment, engage. Wonderful things. Personally, if you would like to follow us, where can they follow you, Katie?
Oh, pretty much everywhere, but mostly Twitter and YouNow and Instagram for Freckled Hobo, spelled exactly the way it sounds.
That's freckled with a D at the end.
Hobo.
Hobo.
Yes, I have a home. Everyone asks me that question, but there was a time.
And then if you'd like to find me personally, I'm Uncool Rockstar on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and all of those normal places. Follow me. Or if you like Disney and nerding out about Disney things, I also have a Disney account with my friend Tiffany, who's been in the chat all night, Disney Observer on Instagram. We do fun things like produce scavenger hunts and stuff too. So if you live in the SoCal area, you can come and join us.
They had a great photo challenge this month, which there was a preschool that did so many super cute pictures. Oh my God, my favorite one was the Peter Pan.
Oh yeah, they did a
one.
Wendy and they had 3 kids from their daycare dress up as Wendy and 2 of the Lost Boys. It was really
so cute.
But yes, so follow OneRing.net, Freckled Hobo, Uncool Rockstar. We are back here every Tuesday, 5 o'clock, right here from Scum and Villainy Cantina, occasionally from Cliff's apartment. Although Cliff has been replaced now, so I guess my apartment. I'm just kidding. Kidding.
Hell yeah. I mean, my apartment just got
We love you,
brand
Cliff.
new, too.
Yeah.
Because it's just me. Well, it's not just me, but
So
it's just me.
join us next week when we hopefully have more information about this ever-growing interactive map and maybe some more exciting Amazon news and anything else we can throw at you guys.
Maybe they'll have a new picture of the map. Oh, no. And then Chelsea
Maybe.
won't sleep for 2 more days because she'll be in her books again. Oh,
Well, let's be
no.
honest. I'm just never going to sleep ever. Who needs sleep? It's like the Bare Naked Ladies
Sleeping
song.
in Hollywood
Who
doesn't
needs sleep?
exist.
You know you're never gonna get it. Oh,
dance.
Pete, you're very sweet. He was like, and Chelsea, you are too cool. The uncool has nothing about actually being uncool.
It's
It is
a
a
reference.
Cameron Crowe reference. And
Reference.
if you look it up and figure out where it actually comes from, I will love you forever. Very few people have gotten it in my life, and I
was
love
going
it
to
when
say,
they
if you
get
know
it.
the reference and you're on my You Now broadcast tomorrow, if you tell me the reference, you get a free freckle.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, snap.
Everybody's saying great job to both of us. We love you all. Thank you so much for joining us. And hopefully Katie will come back soon. And if not, I should also be here with Cliff next week. So I will see you guys next week.
It's all about the power of the people. If you want us here, we'll be here. Get it? Huh? What? Fans? Just kidding. It's fine.
Ha. I'm just kidding. Oh, and that's acting. Anyway.
Acting?